Today on Forbes, AI fraud has exploded. This background check startup is cashing in. Running criminal records checks on Uber drivers and other gig workers helped Checkr co-founder and CEO Daniel Yanis grow his San Francisco-based background checking startup into an operation with a $5 billion valuation. Now, a new wave of white-collar fraud, powered by generative artificial intelligence, is supercharging the next stage of Checkr's growth. Yanis says that at least 40% of job and loan applications reviewed by his company contained inaccurate or faked employment or financial information, and fraudsters are increasingly using tools like ChatGPT and Google's Gemini to create increasingly convincing bogus documents like pay stubs. Yanis told Forbes, quote, "This year is the first time we saw large-scale fraud happening in employment with some of those sophisticated generative AI fake job candidates applying to small startups and large companies." Thanks to Checkr's expansion into white-collar employment history verification, its gross revenue has grown to over $800 million, up 14% from $700 million in 2024. Yanis said that the company has been profitable for several years, earning over $500 million in net revenues, which excludes the fees it pays to the DMV and courthouses as part of its background checks. That growth and Checkr's international expansion, it now works in 195 countries, means that the business could be primed for an initial public offering. Yanis, a Forbes 30 Under 30 alum, declined to comment on the timing, but said it was a short to medium-term goal for the company. The new growth comes after revenue stalled at $700 million in 2023. In early 2024, Checkr laid off 32% of its workforce. Yanis launched the identity checking service later that year as he increasingly heard that his clients, which range from small businesses to S&P 500 companies, were grappling with more and more hiring headaches. These ranged from regular workers embellishing employment history and credentials to North Korean hackers seeking to land coding roles with startups and tech giants. North Korea's regime has earned tens of millions of dollars in recent years from schemes using AI-generated, borrowed, or stolen identities to land coding jobs for North Korean workers at startups, corporates, and even tech giants like Amazon. Yanis said, quote, "The need to verify identities and credentials have never been higher for businesses." Checkr got its start in 2014 with checks on criminal records and driving licenses for gig economy companies like Uber. The company has faced ongoing controversy over workers it has checked landing roles despite violent criminal histories or driving violations, and even allegations of war crimes. Yanis calls that a, quote, edge case. Checkr said it provides data, and its clients make all decisions about who to hire. Now it also runs income and financial records checks for banks, credit card companies, and lenders. The company, which now has 800 employees, will even run a background check on your babysitter or Hinge date, as long as they consent. Yanis declined to comment on specific cases, but said that Checkr was the most accurate background checking service in the world. He said, quote, "We serve tens of millions of consumers and care deeply about fairness. We work with both consumers and our large clients to make sure that all decisions are accurate and fair." Checkr was valued at $5 billion when it raised $120 million in its last funding round back in 2022, and to date has raised $800 million from backers like Durable Capital, Excel, and Co2. For full coverage, check out Ian Martin's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.